Welcome to Living Full, My Gutless Journey. Today I'm going to talk about my port procedure that I got back at the end of June 2024. To be exact, it was June 26, 2024. And today is April 27th, 2025. So pretty much 10 months ago, I got this procedure done. This is how it looks. So this port helped administer chemotherapy medicine during my colorectal cancer experience. When I was 15 or 16 years old, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, UC. It's an inflammatory bowel disease which affected my left side of my colon, my rectum, and my anus. It caused inflammation, bleeding, mucus, and this led to a tumor being created down near my rectum. It was actually connected to one of my hemorrhoids. TMI, but whatever. I received my colorectal cancer diagnosis late May, early June 2024. And I've been through radiation, chemotherapy, surgery. The first thing I had done was radiation. It was during that summer 2024. And right before I started radiation, or I don't know if I was doing radiation already, but I had this procedure done because in September, early September, I knew I would have to get chemotherapy early September. So in order to prepare for those cycles, I got this procedure done. And so just to show you exactly how it works, when I had to get my chemotherapy, they had this needle attached to tubes and stuff that the medicine would go through. And so they would poke it here, like right in the middle, and then tape it down with gauze and, I don't know. Yeah, gauze and whatever they had to keep it in place during my chemotherapy session. And so the needle would stay in me, and I'll be connected to the device that gives out the medicine. I like this method instead of having like a needle in my vein every time because it starts to hurt when I keep getting poked with needles. And I had to get my cycles came every 2 weeks. And so this was an easy option just to have that needle stay in me. You just poke it in there and you're good to go. They didn't have to like go searching for veins because my veins are small. Like every time they're like using the machine to be like, where are your veins? Smacking my arm. My veins are small, and chemotherapy just made it even worse because my veins just started to turn bad. And this device allowed them to actually take blood work too. So it's not just for the chemotherapy. It was also just to draw blood and check my levels and monitor me. And one time when, it was terrible. I was getting a CT scan and they could not find a vein. They got the needle in the vein and the blood started to come out, but then it stopped. I mean, my veins were very bad. And they were like sticking me kind of hard. And it was this lady, I was like, I can't have you do this anymore because it hurts. I told her to stop. And I was like, can we use this port? And she was like, usually when you're in the cancer centers, do they use the port? They're very strict about when and where they use ports. But I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, you can't keep poking me, ma'am. You're pretty rough with it too. And I could tell that she was trying to rush it. And I was like, I'm not doing this. So I was like, I need you guys to access this port in order for me to do my CT scan, because they needed a vein to pump contrast in because I had to have a CT scan with and without contrast. But they could not get to my vein. So I was like, pump the contrast through my port. No more sticking me. And so the nurse was like, we're going to have a special type of nurse come in and do that. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. And then it ended up being that nurse that administered the contrast through my vein, through my port, which I was like, why did you say you have to have a special type of nurse when you're talking about yourself? But anyway, we just weren't like vibing, clicking. I think she was annoyed. I was like, I'm the one being stuck here. So it didn't take too long for them to access the port. It was maybe like 10 minutes. And I had to like go sit back in the waiting area. But I was like, fine. So they eventually did it and it was easy breezy. But that was the only time I used my port outside of the cancer treatment. So back to my port experience. To prepare for this procedure, I had to fast 3 hours before the procedure, which wasn't bad because my procedure was at 9 a.m. So I was sleeping and I don't know, I just woke up and went and I wasn't hungry. I couldn't put lotion on that area where they're going to be putting the port in. I know you can't take some type of medicines. I don't know the specific types, but your doctor would tell you that. So I was good to go. It wasn't hard to prepare for this procedure. You can either just have local anesthesia, like lidocaine or something like that, just to numb the area, and they would go through with the procedure. But I chose to be a little bit more medicated than that. I had the lidocaine and 2 types of medicines that like put me in a hypnosis. I was sort of hypnotized in a way. I was still awake. If someone asked me to do something or told me something, I would still be able to do what they instructed me to do. I opted in for that option. And so since I chose that option, I had to have somebody with me to take me home after. So my sister came with me, and the procedure took no more than 15 to 20 minutes. So I talked to the doctor beforehand. He told me how it would be and blah, 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 blah. Like he was cool. He seemed relaxed, like he's done it 10 million times. He even was like sitting on the counter and like swaying his legs like he was comfortable. I was like, you still got to be professional a little bit. But I was like, oh, it's okay. So I had to wear a robe, go into the surgery room, and I was given, I don't know if it was oral anesthesia or through the tube, through the veins. I think it was through the veins. Yeah, or both. I don't know. But once I got the anesthesia, I would snap out of my hypnosis state and be able to do whatever they told me to do. Like they told me to turn my head left one time, and like I like snapped out of it, like huh, and I turned my head left, and then I was out again. I don't know if I slept or if my eyes were open. I don't know, but I was definitely hypnotized, and I couldn't feel anything, even though I saw the doctor and the nurses over there sometimes, like on the side of me. They were doing their thing over here. And there was like a separation, like a curtain type thing, in order for like no germs to be transferred over to where they were doing the procedure. So it was pretty easy. I mean, I didn't feel anything, but I wasn't really aware. I wasn't awake, but I was able to do what I was instructed to do, if that makes any sense. After 15 to 20 minutes, I woke up and I was able to walk out and get dressed. I had gauze, tape in this area. I didn't really feel soreness at that point, like significant amount of soreness until like the next day. It feels like someone has been like punching you there, like someone hit you really hard there and it's like really bruised. Or if you've been like working out too much, it hurt. It hurt like around this area, like my chest and my shoulder blade area for about 2 weeks or so, a little over 2 weeks. But I wasn't prescribed any pain medicine except for like Tylenol. Like that's all I needed. But it was really sore. I had to sleep on my back. And I didn't really use this side. I know the first day back home, I I forgot that, this was need to heal. So I think I just took Tylenol or something. And I was in the kitchen trying to open up a cabinet, reaching to open up a cabinet. And I was like, oh, nah. So I switched hands and got what I needed with my other hand. But the healing process was not bad at all. And when I had to shower, the first 24 hours, I couldn't scrub that area with soap and water, but I could shower. But I had to keep it covered. 48 hours after I scrub it lightly with soap and water. I think I could take the bandage off. I'm not completely sure. But I knew that bandage wasn't on very long. So if you're worried about not showering, you can, but you couldn't do like direct scrubbing for a while. But it wasn't bad at all. And so it healed pretty well. It's made to last for like 10 plus years, but I don't need it in that long. Oh, and my doctor said like it was going to show a lot because I don't have much fat up here. I'm just naturally like there's no fat that forms on my upper body really. It's more like thighs and booty. So he was like, yeah, it's definitely gonna show. So yeah, you can definitely see that. They made like a little incision right here, popped it in, and they put a part of it in my vein, like the 2-part in one of the veins that goes directly to my heart. So when I did have chemotherapy or had my blood drawn, I had to wear a mask and like turn to the left because it's a sterile procedure. When I took out the needle, I didn't have to have like sterile conditions. Putting it in, I had to have sterile conditions. Taking it out, I didn't have to. So tomorrow I get it removed. They found that I am cancer free. My blood work shows that there are no cancer cells in my body. So I am cured of ulcerative colitis and colorectal cancer, which is magnificent. I'm cured of ulcerative colitis because I got my colon taken out. So I have no colon, so I have no ulcerative colitis. Because ulcerative colitis is a disease of the colon. But now I don't need this anymore. I don't need chemotherapy anymore, so I am able to take it out, which is amazing. I will show you a clip of my removal process. So I'll show you here. What a journey. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, give me a like, and if you have any similar experiences, I would love to hear about it. You can post it in the comments below or just say what's up in the comments. But I hope to see you next time. Take care.